are, winter 2010. The Kruckers had us over for an intern party and made a little film about some of the people who've been involved in the farm. Something that was new for me was working with other people. Working on my parents' farm, I always worked by myself and with my dad. And working here, I got to work with lots of different people.
I don't know if it's like this every year though, but
it's just man run magic.
things kind of clicked. I don't know. From almost from day one. I don't know if that's typical or not, but that was it was a good group.
Super group. Yeah, we used tight. Tight. What we used was tight.
I think what is remarkable is that, to be honest, like I am a part of a family in the farming community around here, and sometimes people do jeer at Chris for having black pigs outside when it's really cold, and they think that some of his practices are a little unconventional, and I guess that's kind of the point. And I always make a point of saying that Chris comes from a non-agricultural background, and it takes a lot of courage to do what Chris is doing. And Chris is doing things that no one else is doing. Chris has diversity that no one else has. He's growing grains. I don't know any other diverse vegetable farmer that's also growing grains and feeding into his livestock. I don't know any. So yeah, I admire Chris for that.
This was the summer of potato bugs, for sure.
Yeah.
We spent like a whole week squishing them, and it was just like endless. And then there would be like 60 on a plant.
Yeah, you'd walk back down the road you had just squished and they were all covered in red potato beetles again.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Life on the farm certainly wasn't perfect, and I definitely got a chance to see how difficult it can be to live out your ideals, but also how much it is worth trying to find a way to make a business viable that fits with a certain set of values. And I think for me it was just such an encouragement, and it was such an invigorating thing to be able to go from lamenting everything that was wrong in the world and feeling so stuck and feeling like I couldn't do anything differently to coming into a setting where I got to experience a lot of things that I never had the chance to experience before.
My time at Manor Run Farm was an amazing stepping stone for me in my life. First of all, meeting Chris, who has such a similar background to me, coming from social work and choosing to get into farming. It was an amazing example of Chris and Denise. You both showed for me what it's like for social empowerment. So to me, you've provided that incredible model of, really using your farm as a place to enrich the community. So much generosity in terms of how you just offered this space up as a place for people to grow and learn and have a purpose and be of service. And so for that example, it was just really a stepping stone for me. Also, you provided a place for me to learn about growing in Ontario. I had, growing skills from out west, but this was a place where I could really learn about growing in Ontario. So yeah, my time on Manor Run Farm was really a great step for me forward in my journey in terms of learning from where my place in the world was and how I could make a difference in the world and at the same time do what I love. And now what you provide for me is an example of a place to raise a family and what that can look like, having just bought my own farm, to be able to see your place 15 years after you started, and the amazing environment you provided for your children and for animals. And so once again you're providing for me an amazing example which I'll use as my wife and I move forward on our journey. So thank you for continuing to be amazing mentors to me, Denise and Chris, and I look forward to continued connections and collaborations. Thank you so much.
This farming reunion, Manor Run reunion, and here I am hearing from an alumni of Manor Run that farming is viable and he's got a business that works. He's making it work, and that's really pretty exciting for me to hear. It's like the counter or like another perspective.
And it was nice when Chris came and joined us in the field, because then we'd have like constructive discussions about farming and politics and charity and all kinds of in-depth topics.
But you know, we've really hammered through it and we solved a lot of the world's problems in those fields, I tell you. We had a patent for every way that we saved the world in that cornfield. Good times.
And interesting how the transformation happened in the fields too. You saw the whole growing season through, the planting and the harvesting, the tons and tons of weeding that we did.
Hand weeding. Right.
All the time.
Chris also had a theme this summer where he read Solzhenitsyn and then wanted to become more Stalin-esque in his like relationship with us. Yeah, and he called himself friend of interns.
And the enlightened one.
The enlightened one. He tried to get us to call him that too.
There's something that happens for me when the bread that I'm eating and the salami that I'm eating and the peppers that I'm eating and the bean dip that I'm eating have all come from this place, from this earth, from the sunshine, and also because of the seeds and the care and the intention and the time that we spend with the crops and the animals. The food is good and it's meaningful. It's changed my life. Can't go back.
I had a wonderful experience here, working 2 years or more or less or whichever, but met some great people, and it was amazing to learn about growing food and learn about the people who are interested in it and learn about myself.
Well, interns come to the farm and then they're commonly lives are changed, and sometimes they end up in farming. So for example, we have an intern that's started a farm. I think they're going to their 3rd year in the Peterborough area. We have people that have gotten into community gardening, and just last year we have a graduate that's taken up a job as a garden manager on a winery, voted best winery in Canada. And there will be livestock and there'll be vegetables, all kinds of things happening there. And so yeah, people come out of here and some of them get right into growing food.
So you're growing farmers?
We're trying to grow farmers. That's one of our objectives. Not everybody will become a farmer, and it's not a prerequisite, but that does happen. We've grown a couple chefs.
And a baker.
And a baker. So yeah, these things all happen in that 5-month period when they're here on the farm working.
We were part of that, right? We were part of that movement as interns at Manor Run. We were part of that growth and contributing to that new, to creating that new space for new farmers to make things happen in a way that works. That's the way that agriculture is going to work in the future.
No idea what I was getting myself into.
I like that it fit exactly what I wanted it to fit. Like, I think it's going to be like this, and then it was. So it was perfect!
I think it's hard to know. It's hard to know what it takes before you come, like, you know, you want to know, I guess, how much you're going to be learning, but that doesn't make sense. Like, it's going to be different in every case. You get as much as you take out of it. Like, you have to be active in trying to learn things and trying to turn situations into learning experiences.